Every May 22nd, we celebrate Bitcoin Pizza Day because someone once paid 10,000 Bitcoins for just 2 pizzas. And down here in Argentina, we hit the streets handing out free pizza to everyone. At first, people couldn't believe it. A little Bybit car waiting at a red light. They were all asking, is it really delivering pizza? Some laughed, some pulled out their phones. But once they realized they could actually grab a slice, their faces said it all. And just when they thought it couldn't get any better, a trailer rolled in with cold drinks. Total madness. But hey, that's not even the best part. You can join the fun too. Download the app, order your Bybit card, and enter to win free pizza all the way through the end of the year. Only on Bybit.
Di ba ito nga ang hindi mabigay-bigay ng gobyerno sa atin kasimple-simple? Transparency? Mga korap kasi. Di ko alam paano kayo nakakatulog sa gabi. Yan, ipon mo sa bako kahit hindi mo ginagalaw, nauubos yan. Nawawala ng value araw-araw. At hindi mo napapansin, pero ganito gumagana ang fiat system. At ito ang dahilan kung bakit marami nagsisimula na maghanap ng alternative tulad ng crypto. Ganito kasi yan. Ang fiat money, yung pesos o dollars, kontrolado yan ng gobyerno at bangko. Centralized. At dahil dito, laging may inflation. Ano ang inflation? Isipin mo to ha. Ako naabutan ko yung panahon dati na 25 pesos ang 1 kilo ng bigas. Ngayon magkano na para sa parehong bigas? Yan ang ibig kong sabihin na yung pera mo, humababa ang halaga niyan habang tumataas ang presyo ng bilihin. Yan papasok ang crypto. Anong kaibahan? Simple. Decentralized ang crypto. Ibig sabihin walang gobyerno o bangko ang may control dito. Sa halip, ikaw ang may hawak ng value ng pera mo. Wala nang pwedeng mag-print nito sobra-sobra. At walang inflation na unti-unting kakain sa value ng perang pinaghirapan mo. Imagine mo to ha, 10,000 ka ngayon. Iniipon mo sana para sa future. Probably you're an OFW at pinaghahandaan mo yung go home for good mo. Pero dahil sa inflation, ang halaga ng 10,000 mo ay parang 9,000 pesos na lang next year. Anong pakiramdam na yan ang katotohanan na nangyayari sa pera mo? Kakapagod, di ba? Ngayon sa crypto, ibang usapan. Pero hindi ito magic solution ha? O volatile ang crypto. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng tumaas ang value at pwede rin bumaba ng mabilis. Pero ganito ang twist. Kung pipili ka ng tamang crypto, maybe gaya ng stable coins, pwede mong ma-store ang value mo ng mas steady by blockchain technology. Kaya alam mo kung gaano karami ang supply nito. Walang hidden manipulation. Di ba ito nga ang hindi mabigay-bigay ng gobyerno sa atin kasimple-simple? Transparency? Mga korap kasi. Di ko alam paano kayo nakakatulog sa gabi. Ito ang dahilan kung bakit takot ang gobyerno sa cryptocurrency. Now, sa kabilang banda, kung gusto mong malaman ng long-term growth, maybe pang retirement mo, nandiyan ang blue chip cryptos tulad ng Bitcoin at Ethereum. Pero tandaan mo, mas mataas na rewards or gains, mas mataas din ang risk. Kaya ang importante, alam mo ang tamang paraan at hindi ka basta-basta papasok ng walang kaalaman. Ang tanong ko sa'yo, anong pinaka nakaka-stress para sa'yo sa kasalukuyang financial system natin? Yung inflation, yung fees, o yung nakikikontrol sa pera mo? Comment mo naman sa baba. Gusto kong mabasa yan. Ano ang damdamin ng madla? At kung gusto mo pang malaman kung paano gagawing solusyon ang crypto, follow ka lang. Simulan natin ang journey mo patungo sa financial freedom.
Ayun, so magandang araw sa lahat, no? Maayong gabi or magandang umaga, magandang tanghali sa lahat ng ating giliw na tagapagpanood, no? So as of this more or less 2:28 a.m., I am making this pre-recorded video for everyone. No, so sa lahat ng nagka-interest, sa lahat ng somehow gusto matuto ng trading, atin pong meron tayong ginawang isang module na somehow hopefully later on makakabigay ng magandang lesson in doing or in learning the fundamentals of trading. So without any further ado, so gusto ko sana magpakilala muna sa inyong lahat. I am William C. Arnilla II, Kuya Wills kung tawagin ng karamihan, a licensed insurance advisor since 2016 in a certain insurance company here in the Philippines, and at the same time been in crypto markets since 2019. So in other words, meron din tayong mga importanteng mga natutunan way back then with regards in trading in the financial markets. So ako po ay galak or natutuwa na i-share yung kung ano man yung natutunan ko sa lahat ng mga interesado. And this is all for free, for those aspiring traders who signed up under our affiliate link. So welcome po, and without any further ado, let me somehow share this screen sa inyong lahat po. Okay, the main purpose or main agenda of this webinar is to somehow share to you, share to everyone what I've learned with regards to kung ano yung fundamentals or basics ng trading talaga. Kasi in my perspective, we cannot somehow di tayo makaka-level up, di tayo magiging expert kung hindi tayo dadaan sa basics. So, itong module 1 na ito is sadyang ginawa ko para sa lahat ng gustong matuto mag-training para maging solid yung pundasyon nila. So, disclaimer muna for everyone, I would like to somehow disclose to you that this content written are based on my personal experience, knowledge, and learnings. Sa ibang sabi, I do not claim in any hold or authorship, ownership, or any ideas stated in this module. Natuto lang din po ako sa mga kaibigan natin na mga professional traders na ngayon at malaki na yung kinikita din nila. So for me, learning is a way of life, so it should not stop from here. And since learning is everyone's responsibility, I advise for everyone na somehow whatever you learn from here, bahala na po kayo mag-segregate kung ano yung sa tingin yung applicable sa inyo or ano yung sa tingin nyo na di din applicable sa inyo. So learn at your own discretion and absorb what is beneficial and forget what is not. So basically, the topics under this fundamental training or the basics of trading are these following 5 subtopics. Nandyan yung understanding on how trading works, brief and concise definition of the concept of trading, key terminologies, chart structure, definitions. Ito yung mga importanteng keywords na ang isang baguhan na trader na dapat niyang malaman on the usual key terms used in trading. Understanding on what is trend, resistance, breakout, breakdown, support, and etc. So, yung ikatlo is chart patterns. Ikaapat is how do we earn from the market, and then basic risk management pamamaraan. Okay, so let's continue and let's somehow proceed to the subtopic number 1, which is understanding how trading works. Kung ano ba talaga or ano yung konsepto or konteksto ng trading, ng pagiging trader. So this is somehow an analogy or somehow an illustration for everyone kung ano yung trabaho talaga ng isang trader. No, so basically in the financial markets, meron tayong mga buyer dyan, no, may mga nambibili talaga, no, nambibili. Kahit saan naman, no, kahit saang aspeto or kahit saang industriya, meron talagang buyer. A person who is employed to select, purchase products, and etc. No, meron tayong seller, meron tayong produkto, and then meron tayong tindahan. In which, in this case, as a trader, important, magiging trader lang tayo once we have an account on an exchange, no, in exchange na websites or something like Bybit, Binance, OKX, etc. So, ito yung mga centralized na platform that acts as a mid entity that allows users to buy, sell, and trade various products. So, dyan natin ginaganap yung mga transactions kung sa anong presyo tayo bibili or sa anong presyo tayo magbibenta ng ating mga produkto. Okay? So, a simple trading analogy on an uptrend. No? Say for example, on a buy situation. No? In the market, Mr. Seller vends 100 apples. No? Nagbibenta daw si Mr. Seller, ito si Mr. Seller naka-green, ng 100 apples. So, syempre, si Mr. Buyer, the name in a blue buyer na natawag dito font, sabi niya kay Mr. Seller, sabi niya, Sir, bibili ako ng 50 mansanas, magkano po? Sabi ni Mr. Seller, if you take this all, I can give it to you for 2,500 each. Sounds a good price. So therefore, si buyer, since sa merkado, medyo mura na tong 50 pesos each for that particular na product, binili niya. Now, on the other hand, si Miss Buyer din naman, itong babae, no, gusto rin niyang bilhin yung natirang 50 apples sa same na presyo na binili ni Mr. Buyer Blue. Okay, so therefore, ang gusto kong ipakita sa analogy na to is, pag yung particular na seller is mawawalan ng stock, no? In other words, yung 100 niya, yung 100 ni seller, ni original seller, mapupunta na kay buyer 1 at saka buyer 2, sila na yung magiging new seller ng apples. Basically, because no stock na si Mr. Seller original, no? So yung seller number 1. So in that way, in that kind of context, kung pag-iisipan natin, no, kung ating i-analyze, kung binili mo ng 50 yung apple, so syempre, di mo yan i-out ng 50 din. Tama? So therefore, merong magiging appreciation, no? Appreciation ng produkto since nawala na ng stock yung original na seller. So, it is all about the concept of supply and demand, in which pag low yung demand or pag high yung demand tapos yung supply mababa, tataas yung presyo. So, in other words, so by that, all stocks of the seller are sold out. So, therefore, demand will increase in price kasi meron ng mga new buyers. Okay, so, kung tayo yung nasa position ng mga new buyers, typically, no, we will not sell our products of discounted price. Tama? So, ibibenta natin yan sa mahal na halaga. So, how that relates to trading, no? It relates to trading in a concept that everyone who buys or purchase a certain token in the financial market, that will trigger the price going upwards. Okay? So, let me clarify it, no, para sa mga nanonood dyan. Pag ang merkado maraming bumibili, ang presyo tataas. Okay? So, next slide tayo. On a downtrend also, no, sa pagbaba ng presyo, usually that happens when a certain seller already earns profit at the top or at certain levels taas. No, so therefore, kung kinuha mo sa presyo sa baba tapos ibebenta mo sa taas, no, ibebenta mo dito kasi kumita ka na, ang magiging reaction ng market dyan is bababa. So, ibalik ko ha, ibabalik ko yung parang konteksto ng sinasabi ko ngayon. Every time someone buys in the market, it will push the price upwards. Every time someone sells on the market, it will pull the price downwards. So, in other words, no, so if people will keep on selling or take profit at the top kasi kumita ni sila, you might end up selling your 50 pesos worth of apple into a lower price kung di mo siya i-out on time, no? Kung di mo siya ilalabas or ibebenta on time. No, so merong mga instances na ganyan. So later, mas i-elaborate natin kung ano yung mga technicalities sa pagsisell talaga ng products natin. So the concept of buy low, sell high is the ideals, no, or the ideal way of trading the market. No, bibili ka ng stock sa baba, ibebenta mo sa taas na may kita ka. Hindi yung bibili ka sa baba, ibebenta mo sa mas mababang presyo, malulugi ka na. No, so that's a simple trading analogy for the downtrend. Balik ko, no, before tayo mag-proceed sa next slide natin, the concept of buy and sell in the market is pag may buy, tataas. Pag may sell, bababa. Okay, so that's the basics of the financial markets or the price movement or price action. Okay, so next slide. A trading simple analogy for what? For the market sentiment, no? Kung ano yung sentimento ng merkado pag tayo ay nagiging exposed na dito. Okay, so usually when we start doing the trades, when we start doing the trades, tapos alam na natin yung fundamentals and etc. If we somehow find or able to buy a token at a very cheap price, no, at a very cheap price, tapos yung reaction ng market is tumaas, so therefore yung produkto na nabili mo is tumaas yung value, you will have an optimism na feeling, no, or emotion for that. No, so somehow pag tumaas na or nag-green na yung portfolio mo, mararamdaman mo sa sarili mo na, uy, ito pala yung feeling na tumataas yung value ng pera ko or tumataas yung value ng token ko. And then somehow if we are in an earlier stage of our career as a trader, lalo na sa mga rookies or sa mga newbies, ito yung talagang parang common sa lahat, yung pagiging hindi pasensyoso, impatience, no? Magsisimula na yung mga ano tawag dito, subconscious na mga feeding ng mga kaaway, no, ng mga kaaway na sasabihin natin sa sarili natin o sa utak natin na ang tagal naman lumaki ng pera ko, no. We have this kind of mindset ba na pag nag-invest ka ng ganitong level ng pera, you have somehow invested more or less, say for example 10,000 pesos, nandyan yung kind of mentality na ang tagal naman maging milyon ito, no, parang ganun ba, no, na sentimento or parang ganun na feeling, no. So ibalik ko lang, no, usually when a rookie or a new time or a new aspiring trader get involved in the market, ito yung madalas na nagiging sentimento or nagiging emotion ng isang bagong trader. Now once they are impatient, and then later on they will find out that the thing that yung pinagtiisan nilang yung pinagtiisan nila na antayin, no, na tataas pa to, no. So yung mga ganong scenario, no, na sa trading, pag nag-realize na talagang tumaas yung merkado, magiging excited tayo, no? Magiging excited tayo lalo na pag yung pera natin na times 2 na times 3, and eventually we will come to a point na magiging overconfident ng isang trader, in which nandun na yung emotion or yung pakiramdam na parang invisible ka na, no? You are somehow like a genius na ba in the markets na tataas pa to. Basta ako, nakasecure na ako ng konti. Tataas pa to. Yung overconfidence, no? And then, when the market retrace, come to a point na pag somehow mataas na, and then later on, some of the people na nakabili dito sa baba, magti-take profit na dun sa taas, no? Kung sila ay mag-withdraw na sa mga kinita nila, when the market corrects or retrace, no, bababa dahil nagbenta sila sa taas, doon na yung usual na emotion ng isang baguhang trader na correction lang to. Yung mga mentality ba na sasabihin natin sa sarili natin na correction lang to, pagkatapos ng ganitong level, aakyat ulit, no? May mga ganun na scenario talaga sa trading. In which, no, ito yung event or ito yung section or ito yung point of trading na magiging denial ka na. And then, when the trade or when the market or the price action don't go on your way, no, na hindi siya tumaas, doon na papasok yung regret na sayang, sana dapat nag-take profit na ako doon sa taas, no? Di ko na inantay pa na mag-correct, no? May mga ganung sentimento na magre-regret ka na, and then at the same time you will somehow makaka-feel ng takot when the trend goes against your bias already. No, kasi syempre kung nakabili ka dito tapos the market goes almost the same level na sa pagbili mo, andun pa din yung denial, at the same time yung takot na nako, baka wala na akong ma-take home nito, no, something like that, no. So doon na din papasok yung panic at saka yung despair, no. So when panic comes, ibalik ko lang ng konti sa fear na level or sa fear na section. Pag nakakaramdam na tayo ng pagkatakot sa merkado, then that means na we somehow did not plan well on our trade, no, na yung di natin tawag dito, di natin naplanuhan kung anong levels natin i-take profit yung trades natin. And then, if it totally goes around your bias or your stake or your bet, no, ikaw is pa-long or pa-buy ka, pataas, tapos yung merkado pababa, doon na magsisimula yung panic na anong gagawin ko dito, lalo na kapag ikaw ay naka-spot or naka-leverage, no? Pag sa spot, okay lang kasi devaluation, but the panic will still be there. It's because, say for example, if the money you invested is 1 million and the market goes minus 10%, yung magiging value na lang yung ng 1 million mo is more or less 900,000 in a very short period of time if the market is very volatile tayo. No, if the market is very volatile talaga. So, in other words, andun na yung mentality na ako, anong gagawin ko dito kung mag-withdraw ako, malulugi naman ako, pero if wala akong gagawin, baka mag-down pa yung market, no? So, in an overview of what I'm trying to say here is, if we don't learn or if we somehow don't strategize or plan our trades well, no, the market will really batter us or paparusahan talaga tayo ng merkado para makalain tayo. So at times na we are on despair na wala na talagang pag-asa, pangit ang trading, scam ang trading, and etc. Diyan din uusbong or dyan din mag-shine o mag-a-arise yung mga opportunities, no? So, opportunity in despair in greed. No? So, ano ibig sabihin nito? No? Opportunity in despair, ibig sabihin yan, pag nag-bottom or nag-sale yung merkado, in which sa ibang mga traders na nakabili sa overconfidence, pag nag-devaluate ng ilang porsyento yung pera nila, that will somehow give them the feeling of despair. But on those people na hindi pa nakapasok sa market, despair is an opportunity to buy. No? Ito yung mga oportunidad na kailangan magbili tayo or hindi kailangan, but somehow it is a very ideal level to position ourselves nung magkuha tayo na or magbodega tayo dito sa baba, where majority of the people are in despair, opportunity arrives. So then on, the cycle continues. Kung nakabili ka dito, andyan na naman yung hope, yung relief, at saka optimism, babalik na naman dito. So this hope is somehow refers to those persons or to those traders na naipit dito sa taas, na nakabili dito sa taas. So pag medyo umakyat na yung market, hindi na sumasadsad, nabubuhay yung espiritu na naman nila. And then pag 10% down na lang or 20% down, coming from a 50% sell-off or 50% na pagka-devaluate ng amount of money nila, no, magkakaroon ng kakonting relief diyan sa kanilang emotions, no? And then the new bull market or the new cycle of emotions will start again. Optimism, impatience, excitement, or confidence, and so on and so on. So again, let me highlight on this one. Somehow, most of the traders find this sentiment or market emotion cycle as indicators also on when to buy a particular token or stocks. So kung medyo matinik tayo, if medyo madiskarte tayo, kung ano yung pulso ng majority na down ang market ngayon, you will just have to reverse your psychology na if down ang market, so therefore it's an opportunity to buy, something like that. Okay? So next slide is ito. So we are done with the first module or subtopic. We are going now to discuss number 2, which is the key terminologies, chart structure and definition. So importante nyo malaman to para di tayo maging ignorante sa anong mga terminolohiya. Grabe no? Ano yung mga terminologies na common or usual na ginagamit sa merkado. Okay? So a good foundation on knowing what we are learning. Terminologies and definitions are a good foundation on knowing what we are learning. So always remember, we earn because we learn. Okay? So ito yung mga key terms na dapat nating malaman. So what is bullish trend? What is bearish? What is uptrend? And what is downtrend? Okay? So for the bullish trend, kung makikita nyo dito, so bakit bull yung naging simbolo ng isang uptrend market? Kasi yung puwet ng bull is coming from the butt of the bull going to the shoulder, pataas siya. Dito naman sa bear, from the shoulder of the bear going to the butt, pababa siya. So when we say bullish trend, aggressively confident and assertive. Overall, the market sentiment on this period is that yung mga buyers yung dominating. So let's just put it this way na parang tag of war siya ba, naghihilaan ng piso. Now, ngayon, if mas malakas yung kabilang grupo, yung team bull, pag nahihila nila yung bear, ang nagiging sentimento ng market is uptrend. Okay? Bumabalik tayo doon sa unang na open natin na topic kanina. So, pabalik-balik lang tayo sa basic kasi importante ito. So, pag nagdo-dominate yung mga buyers sa merkado, dyan natin makikita na ang market is nag-uptrend. Uptrend. An upward tendency, especially a rise in economic value. Overall market sentiment is buyers are dominating. On bearish trend naman, sa hilaan ng bull at saka ng oso, no, sa hilaan ng bull at saka ng bear, ang nagiging parang dominante sa period na yan is yung mga nagbebenta. No? So kahit anong gawin mo na bili, yung market talaga pababa. So yan yung bearish trend. No? Overall sentiment, sellers yung dominating. So it triggers a downtrend price action. The next slide is all about chart, candlestick, resistance, and support. No, so when we say chart, no, ito yung parang representation kung ano yung price movement ng price movement or price action ng merkado. No, kung ano yung mga paiba-ibang presyo ng merkado, no, kung ano yung sentimento. May pababa, pataas, pababa, pataas, pababa, pataas, pababa, pataas. No, so may bumibenta, bumibili, nagbebenta, bumibili, nagbebenta, bumibili. So a chart is a graphical representation of an asset price movement over time. Traders use chart to visually analyze price trends, patterns, and volume data to make informed trading decisions. So later on, ituturo natin kung ano yung patterns or paano gumawa ng mga trend lines, etc. So inside this chart is composed siya ng mga kandila, ng mga candlesticks. No, a type of price chart used in technical analysis that displays high and low, open and close of the prices of security for a specific period of time. So kung makikita mo, may pula, may berde, no, na kandila. No, ibig sabihin yan, sa kandilang ito, yung nagiging dominante is yung mga sellers. Sa kandilang ito, yung nanalo is yung mga buyers. And then sa big candle na ito, yung nanalo is buyers. So basically, klase-klase, no? Klase-klase yung makikita nating kandila. Depende sa kung ano yung setup natin sa oras. Pwede nating gawing one day yung time frame ng ating setup. No, ibig sabihin, pag naka one day yung setup, lahat ng makikita mo sa chart, bawat kandila dyan is one day, represents one day activity, one day. So, kung gusto mo din gawin ng 12 hours, magiging iba din yung representation ng bawat kandila. So, in other words, no, tayo yung mamimili kung ano yung time frame na komportable tayo mag-trade o ano yung time frame na parang doon tayo hiyang or doon tayo bagay or doon natin feel na parang mas bagay or mas fit sa character natin. No, so in a candlestick, since it represents the price action inside that candle, no, so therefore nagiging pula ang presyo or ang kulay ng kandila pag nagdodomina yung mga sellers, nagiging berde pag nagdodomina yung mga buyers. So, a simple representation for this one is, say for example, this one, no, pagpalagay natin dito sa unang green na kandila, no, prior to this one is red candle, no, red candle. So, sa pag-open ng kandila, sa pag-close ng kandilang itong pula, proceed siya dito agad sa next candle, in which kung makikita mo may buntot siya, ibig sabihin yan, pumunta muna siya, naging pula muna siya bago siya naging green, no? Naging pula muna, tapos at this level nag-push na yung mga bulls or mga buyers, that leads to this candle na naging green, no? Up to this level, itong level na ito, yung nasa pinaka-tuktok ng kandilang ito. Tapos, kung makikita mo, ba't naging buntot yan? Ba't hindi naging solid yung kandila? It's because it retraced or umusog or parang nag-pullback yung presyo pababa, and before or on that time na nag-close na yung market para mag-proceed sa next day, dito siya nag-end. No, so, itong candle na ito yung open, ito yung close. No, ito yung open, ito yung close. So pag close niya, proceed siya sa candle, sa next candle which is the next day, kung one day time frame to, bumaba, gumawa ng buntot, naging pula na muna bago naging green, no, nag-open dito, nag-close dito. Okay? So, ang nangyari dito on the third candle is pag-proceed niya sa next na araw, no? So, naging green muna siya, no? Naging green, tinulak pataas, and then pumunta pababa. Okay? Pumunta pababa. Tapos yun yung somehow naging rason bakit naging red candle siya. So yun yung parang basic technicalities ng kandila. Okay? So moving on, we're going to discuss the resistance and the support also. So yan, ano yung resistance? So in layman's term or sa simpleng terminolohiya, no, kung sa bahay ito na setup, ang ceiling, no, itong kisame, yan yung resistance. Yung sahig naman, yan yung support. No, so every time merong resistance, ang nangyayari sa market is nagpo-pullback siya. No, every time there's an identified resistance or ceiling, nagpo-pullback yung market. Bakit? It's because when there is a resistance, no, dito na lang sa chart, no, sa itong ginawa natin na example dito na chart. The top or the ceiling of this price action, wag muna natin tong isama. Say for example, hindi pa nangyari to, wala pa to, blanco pa to dito. The moment it taps somewhere here, no, tapos nag-retrace yung market, we will consider that as resistance na or ceiling ng bahay. No, tapos pagpunta niya dito, nag-bounce siya. Pagbalik niya sa resistance, ang naging reaction niya is nag-withdraw or nag-drawback na naman siya. Bakit? Ito na lang yung mga parang context ng resistance and support. No, sa resistance. Pag resistance, marami ang sellers. Diyan nag-aabang yung mga sellers. Every time it goes to resistance, magti-take out ng profit yung mga tao na nakabili dito sa baba. Happy? So, every time mauuntog sa resistance, expect drawback. Kung malakas talaga yung bull, tapos nauntog na naman sa resistance, expect drawback. Again, if malakas talaga yung bulls, dyan na yung breakout. No, so, yan yung resistance. In layman's term or sa madaling sabi, ang resistance is ang ceiling ng presyo or yung pinakamataas na tuktok, no, ng isang price action. Yung pinakamataas na reach niya at a certain period of time. Okay? So, it's essentially a ceiling that limits the price from breaking higher. Okay? For the support naman, yung sabi ko kanina, ito yung sahig. Now, every time naman, magbabounce or magda-down yung presyo patungo sa mga identified na support, dyan naman nag-aabang yung mga buyers. Kuha? No, so, kung dito, kung sa resistance, nag-aabang yung sellers, sa support naman, dyan nag-aabang yung mga buyers. So, typically, what happens when there is a price action going to the support, it bounces and it rallies upward. No, every time magdaan siya or magpunta siya dun sa support na level. Okay, so next is retracement, breakout, breakdown, consolidation. So when we say retracement, it refers to a temporary pullback or reversal in the price movement of an asset within the context of a larger trend. Now, in a short-term move against the prevailing direction, after which the asset usually continues to its original trend. Now, so makikita nyo dito, no? So if the market sentiment is bullish, no, dominante yung mga buyers, no? Kasi for example, ito nakikita natin. Every time it goes to the resistance, since may nagbebenta dyan, no, pag dominante yung mga bulls or dominante yung mga bears, it will not go equal to the recent support. No, it will not go back to the recent support. In other words, no, kagaya dito sa breakout. In other words, kung dito yung presyo nagsisimula, dito ka nakabili, pag nag-retrace ang market, more or less, nasa mga around 60%, 70% lang yan magko-correct kasi yan yung mga tao no, na nag-take profit, tapos aakyat na naman yan. No, so in other words, retracement happens when particular number of traders take profit at the resistance. No, so kung medyo talagang malakas yung again no, kung medyo malakas talaga yung bulls sa isang chart, maggagawa ito ng low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So yun yung sentiment. Anyways, no, we will not tackle on that na in particular. Dito lang muna sa basics, no. So when we say breakout, no, breakout happens when the bull successfully demolish the resistance, no. So kung na-break talaga ng mga bulls yung resistance, tutuloy-tuloy yung presyo paakyat. Okay, sa madaling sabi. Indicating strong rally of bulls to reach another resistance level. Okay, on breakdown naman. No, on breakdown, ito yung successful na pagbasag ng mga bears sa support. No, sa support. So pag tumagos na sa presyo or sa support level, pag tumagos na, breakdown tawag dyan. Refers to a downward movement in a securities price typically below key support level that signals potential continuation and downward trend. It often occurs with high trading volume and indicates strong selling pressure. Okay? So for consolidation, no? So ano ibig sabihin ng consolidation? Consolidation means, no, refers to a period where an asset's price remains relatively stable within a defined range, no? Well-defined yung resistance at saka yung support. No, so makikita natin dito yung mga bulls bumibili sa baba, nagbebenta dito, no, nagbebenta, that able to draw back the price back to the support. And then every time it goes back to the support, yung mga bulls naman, no, dito na naman bibili, that will make the price go to the identified resistance again. So talbog-talbog lang siya sa isang defined na range. So yan yung consolidation. Okay, so we are done for that. Now we will go to the chart patterns. Okay, chart patterns, visual formation by a price movement, often used in technical analysis to predict future price movement. These patterns represent reoccurring price action and based on the idea that past price behavior can suggest what might happen again. So ito yung mga popular chart patterns na kung titingnan natin or somehow kung tititigan natin yung isang particular na chart ng isang token, at any point or at any time of that, laging present ang the majority of these laging present sa chart, no. So but let me somehow para heads up everyone for this, no. While it is true that these patterns are performing really in the market, but it is not 100% na parang somehow guaranteed na ganyan talaga gagawin ng market. Kasi there are times na, say for example, this ascending triangle, kung makikita mo na yung parang nagiging itsura ng price movement mo is parang ascending triangle. So kung ikaw na trader na ito yung pinagbabasihan mo ng decision lagi, you will always buy on the breakout, no? On the breakout of this kind of structure, no? So pag bumili ka, no, and somehow nag-go against yung market kasi medyo parang let me somehow put it this way na lang, na whether we like it or not, somehow the market is really manipulated, no. So there are traders or there are somehow whale traders in the market na nag-exist talaga. When we say whale, these are the billionaires and the trillionaires, no, mga madatong, no, so maraming pera. Sa madaling sabi, ang gusto ko ipaabot sa inyo is when we somehow get involved in the financial market, no, expect manipulation. No, di talaga mawawala yan. No, somehow masasabi mo sa sarili mo na, but nag-go against yun, yung trend is ascending triangle. Kasi it's because these market makers or market manipulators know that when you enter that price here, tapos naglagay ka ng stop loss dito. Anyways, we will somehow discuss that later. In other words, no, nagkakapera yung merkado o yung mga market makers, yung may-ari ng mga exchanges in a way na pag nag-go against yung trend tapos naka-leverage, doon pupunta yung chart. No, so later on i-discuss ko sa inyo ano yung ibig sabihin ng mga ano tawag dito, mga liquidation and etc. No, so for the sake of this representation na lang, no, ito yung mga common chart patterns na makikita natin sa merkado. Again, these patterns perform, yes, but not 100% performing, no, due to market manipulators, no. So i-discuss ko ano advantage ng mga market manipulators on a higher stage na ng trading natin. Okay? So you can use this, no, you can use this as your basis, but always ano tawag dito, always base your decision on what you see, not what you think where the market goes, no. So kung ano yung makikita mo, doon ka mag-stake, hindi doon sa tingin ko aakyat to, sa tingin ko bababa to, no. So, kailangan kung ano yung nakikita mong galaw ng merkado, doon ka mag-decide, no. So sa reversal patterns naman, ito yung mga head and shoulders, double tap, triple tap. I will not tackle on this na specifically kasi ano tawag dito, mapag-aaralan naman do, no, in a way na masesearch nyo sa Google yung mga patterns nito, continuation patterns and reversal patterns. So just DYOR na lang, no, do your own research for this one para mas matutunan nyo ano yung mga indications o ano yung mga common na ginagawa ng merkado pag sinusunod nila yung mga patterns nito. Okay, so how do we earn from the market? No, paano tayo kumikita sa merkado? So, first of all, no, how do we earn the market? Register first, no, kailangan mag-open tayo ng account sa Bybit. No, in which I assume majority of those siguro, no, if not all, I know na meron na kayong account kasi nakikita nyo na tong video na ito. No, so on your account, no, so mag-open kayo ng accounts nyo, and then prepare your account first in order for us to somehow learn the market in actual, no, hindi lang theory, kailangan actual din. So with that being said, I highly encourage everyone to put a certain test money, no, wag muna malaki, maliit na muna, more or less siguro na sa mga around 5,000 pesos or 10,000 na ilalagay nyo sa account nyo, na yun yung magiging test money nyo na para ma-feel talaga yung kung ano yung sentimento or ano talaga yung real-time battle dito sa financial markets. So you secure your Bybit account first and then start trading and experience real-time market. No one beats the opportunity to experience market wins and losses and etc. So learn, adapt, and adjust. As learning is a continuous process, plant in your mind that in the future you need to understand that your nature, you will understand your nature and create your own identity or system that will bring you to your success. You can follow other system, yes, but nobody beats the satisfaction and contentment of having your own brand that no one can blame if it succeeds or not. No, so particularly what I'm trying to say here is at the end of the day, whether you succeed or not, there's no one to blame but us, no, but you, no, but we, but us personally, no, tayo lang yung may hawak ng kapalaran natin kung ano yung magiging future tadhana. Okay, so how do we earn from market? So let us begin. 3 things you need to bear in mind as a trader. Now, number 1, adaptability. No, in order for us to earn, we need to adapt as soon as possible. Learning fast by experience real-time market volatility and to quickly adjust your system if a significant learning occurs. No, so while trading in the market, to grow fast by always learning how to set sail in the big waves. No, so in other words, no one is exempted on the market psychology. No, lahat tayo talaga makaka-experience kung ano yung despair, kung ano yung panic, no, walang exempted dyan. Kahit yung mga top tier ng mga traders right now or mga financial fund managers, they are still experiencing those kind of market emotions or sentiments. So, in short, what I'm trying to say is kahit anong lakas yung bagyo, we don't need to somehow go against it, but we need to somehow learn how to sail on those kind of scenarios ba. No, paano tayo mag-a-adapt sa ganung sentimento ng merkado. So, market is manipulated. Either way lang to, no, dalawa lang pagpipilian mo. It's either you will be the hunter or you will be the hunted. No, parang prey versus the predator ba. No, kung di mo malalaman or di natin malalaman kung ano yung pag-iisip or ano yung mga diskarte ng mga whales, no, yung mga mapera talaga, no, yung malalaki yung mga pondo. Kung di natin somehow ma-analyze kung ano posible gagawin nila, tayo ang magiging pagkain nila dito sa merkado. Yung mga pera natin magiging donation sa kanila ba. No, so kailangan natin mag-adapt fast, kailangan natin mag-learn fast. Okay, so profitability. The number of wins doesn't matter if we end up unprofitable. No? So in other words, kahit ano dami pa ng panalo mo, kung pa kunti-kunti lang yan, no? Tapos yung talo mo na sobrang laki naman, it will not make sense. No, it will not make sense. We need to trade to earn, not to sa madaling sabi, we trade to earn, not to lose. And with that, do trade not to win but not to lose. No, be a defensive trader. This is a kind of mindset na we need to somehow plant in ourselves na kung mag-trade tayo, kailangan yung setup natin is hindi matalo. No, kailangan yung setup natin is hindi magkapera o hindi somehow malaki yung magiging talo natin, no? Kasi kung ang mentality natin is yung maging manalo lang, we can win as much as possible in the market, but ang question that is what if time will come na the market will go against your bias, and then yung particular na isang talo na yon is 90% ng portfolio mo naman yung nawala. So it will not make sense to trade in that kind of situation ba, na mas marami yung panalo pero lugi naman, no? So much better yung mas marami yung talo pero tumubo yung pera, lumago yung pera natin. No, so in that way, that makes sense the statement of be a defensive trader than an offensive trader. No, so wag masyadong maging greedy if the market is against you. Okay? And then time freedom. having the flexibility to allocate your time as you choose, no? Ang kinaganda ng trading is ikaw yung magde-decide kung magkano yung kikitain mo, but don't expect it first in your first few months, few years in trading, because I don't know if you will buy into this idea of mine, no? Normally, no, majority of the time talaga sa bawat venture na papasukin natin, hindi talaga tayo parang magiging profitable agad-agad, no? In other words, marami yung magiging experience natin na talo, magiging marami yung times na may experience natin yung pagbaba ng market, mga wrong decisions, and etc. But on those kinds of scenarios na pagdadaanan natin, no, ng mga bagong traders, on those kind of scenarios, you will somehow develop a resilient kind of you, no? You will develop a person that is more wiser than yesterday. You will develop a person within you na matatag, no, na di na masyadong nagiging emotional, kasi yung kontra talaga, no, yung magiging kalaban talaga natin dito sa financial markets is yung emotion natin, no? Magiging balakid, no, sa pagde-decide natin, kasi there are times, no, say for example, there are times that when a certain trader lose much in a certain trade, magkakaroon siya ng parang mentality of parang nagiging trauma ba, no? Imbes na bibili siya doon sa support, no, na kasi identified support, and imbes na bibili siya doon kasi opportunity na, takot na siya bibili, it's because in the past experience, bumili siya sa support tapos bumutas na naman sa support, no? So nag-buy siya doon pero nagbutas yung kuwan. So again, we need to somehow have a flexibility to allocate your time as you choose, no? So rather than the feeling obligated to spend it in a specific ways in trading, one can earn as much as a certain number of months or years in one trades, no? So nagte-trade tayo, this is coming from parang ibalik ko lang sa slides, no? Nagte-trade tayo, it's because we want to somehow purchase time moving forward, no? In a particular example, or say for example na lang sa kaibigan ko, no, na parang masasabi ko na big time na talaga sa trading. On one particular trade he have done in the past few months, since medyo malaki-laki na yung capital niya, pag entra niya, nag-gain ng 30% yung pera niya, no? Tapos yung pera niya, if I am not mistaken, say for example nasa mga 5 million pesos, 30% of 5 million pesos is more or less nasa mga around 1.5 million pesos. And that 1.5 in one particular trade, that is most likely a budget of 1 year, no? 1 year na nasahod ng isang high executive employee na corporate setup or corporate world. So in short, no, ibalik ko, no, let me somehow reiterate this. No, we are trading because we want to aspire time freedom in the future. I'm not saying it will be done instantly today, but as time goes by na natututo tayo, na nagiging better tayo compare yesterday, nagiging mas expert tayo sa particular chart or particular trade. When the time comes na break mo na talaga and you have this kind of portfolio na yung isang trade, no, posible na yung isang trade natin 10 taon na ng isang employee A, or isang taon na ni employee B, or 6 na buwan na ni employee C. So, parang ganun, no? Ibalik ko, no? 3 things we need to bear in mind as a trader is we need to have this kind of mentality na kailangan mag-adapt tayo, no? Na whatever happens, we need to somehow fit on the situation, no? Or suit ourselves on the situation. We need to be profitable, no? Hindi pwede na madami tayong panalo pero mas malaki pa yung talo. And then time freedom, no? Aspiring time freedom. So those are the 3 things we need to bear in mind as a trader. So moving forward, this is the buy-bid mechanics on the difference of spot trading and leverage trading. So, ang spot trading are distinct methods of investing in financial markets. It involves immediate purchase and sale of assets at the current market price. In other words, sa bawat pagbili mo, parang ang ratio nito is 1:1. So, example, spot trading, simply generally considered less risky as losses are limited to the initial investment. In other words, ibig sabihin nito, hindi ka mawawalan ng, say for example, you will buy 100 apples, no? 100 apples. Yung 100 apples mo magiging sa'yo sa spot trading. Now, when the market goes up, no, kung ang bili mo dun sa 100 apples is 50 each, so therefore, nagkapital ka ng 5,000. If the market goes up 100%, so therefore, yung 5,000 pesos mo, magiging 10,000 pesos. Tama? So, yung 100 apples, ang equivalent na amount niya is 10,000 pesos. On the other hand also, if you purchase 100 apples and the market price go against your initial investment or initial purchase price, no, dito mo nabili, pero nag-devaluate siya, yung 100 apples mo, same pa rin 100 apples. It's just that the amount of those apples each is bumaba. So, for example, ang 5,000 mo, nag-less 50% of ang market kasi nangibabaw yung mga bears. Yung 5,000 mo, naging 2,500 na lang. No? Pero, it is not something masasabi mo sa sarili mo na, nawalan ako ng 2,500. Hindi. No? Ang ibig sabihin yan is lumiit lang ang value ng 5,000 mo or ng 100 pieces na apples mo. It's still 100 pieces apples, but all you just need to do is when you are on a tight or ipit situation, naipit ka sa sitwasyon na yun na nakabili ka sa taas pero bumaba yung price, all you need to do is to wait for that price to go back up again. Okay? So, example, if you purchase or buy 1 share per token at price 103,000 USD, this is for, if I am not mistaken, this is for Bitcoin. After a few moments, the market rallies up and increasing price by 10%. Yung 103 mo, madadagdagan ng 3%. So therefore, at 10%. So therefore, 10% of 103 is 10,000. Ang total na kinita mo sa particular na trade na yun is 13,000. So a total of withdrawable mo is 113. 113 less fees. So if you take profit or withdraw, then the increase in portfolio cash will be called realized profit. No, so every time na mag-green yung nasa PNL mo, unrealized PNL, di pa yun totoong kita, not unless i-withdraw mo talaga. So, before you do screenshots, take profit muna before screenshot. Kasi may mga sabi-sabi, no, may mga naririnig tayo sa iba na kita na sana, naging screenshot pa, no? Imbes na secure na, bumaba yung presyo na abrupt, nawala yun, naging bato yung kita. So, you need to withdraw it for it to become a realized profit. So, therefore, cash owners, anyways, no? So, basahin na lang natin ito. So, on the other end also, if you purchase at a price of 103,000 and the market rallies down and decrease price of 10%, loss will be magnified also at 30%. So therefore, this is for the leverage pala yun. Dito tayo sa spot. Rallies down by 10%, no? So minus 10%, ang magiging value na lang ng pera mo instead of 103,000 is 92,000 na lang. Pero take note, you still have that one token, no? May token ka pa rin isa. Bumaba lang yung value niya. So, if you do not withdraw, if you do withdraw at that price, dito sa presyo na 92,973, magiging realized profit yan, or realized PNL, or totoong talo. No? So, in short, the moment na i-hold mo muna, or the moment na hindi mo siya i-withdraw, paper loss lang siya. No? In other words, virtual loss, hindi reality loss. No? So, in those kind of situation, wala tayong magagawa. Nag-down talaga yung market. No? DCA na lang, which is later, matututunan nyo din yan. No? DCA na lang sa mga trades niyo. So, worst case, if it means you need to hold the money because it devalues the value. So, anyways, leverage trading. In leverage trading uses borrowed funds to magnify potential gains and losses. So offers the potential for higher market returns but also carries the risk of significant losses. So for example, if you purchase one token at price 103 with times 3 leverage, no? After a few moments, ibig sabihin nitong times 3 leverage, i-multiply nito yung value ng pera mo into times 3. So after a few moments, if the market rallies up, 10% times 3 is 30%. So therefore, ang kikitain mo sa trade na setup na ito is ito. Na times 3 leverage or 134. Now, kung ikukumpara mo dito, same 10%, dito naka-leverage. 10% pa din, pero since naka-leverage siya, no, magiging 134, dito 13,000 na. Gets? Okay? So, if you take profit, realized portfolio called realized profit and etc. So, ganun. Ang cons naman itong leverage na to, if rally down naman siya, yung 10% mo, ma-magnify siya into 30%. So, say for example, no, so, if you are going to set your natawag dito, if you're going to set your purchase at the same price of 103,304, tapos nag-down yung market ng 30% due to the leverage, imbes na 10% lang yun, equivalent ng 30%, coming from the 92,000 na supposed to be loss lang sana, magiging 72,313.01 siya. And this leverage trading is risk, no? Mas riskier siya. It's because you really need to take out the money out of the system, because if you don't, maliliquidate yung position mo. Maliliquidate means masusunog, no? Masusunog or mabibigay sa ibang trader yung pera mo. So, kung di mo naman i-withdraw tong 72, no? Kung di mo i-withdraw tong 72, mas lalala pa yung talo mo pag bumaba pa ng ano pa yung level na percentage na ibaba pa ng merkado. Copy? So, market orders, understanding buy and sell trading, and how to execute market orders. So, a market orders is a type of instruction, etc., etc., etc. Simplest way to trade, ensuring fast execution, but the final price may differ slightly from the quoted price due to market volatility. Ano ibig sabihin, no? Parang sa actual na merkado ba, no? Kung bibili ka, pabili po, bibigay ka ng pera, makukuha mo yung produkto. Yun, instant, no? Instant transaction. In other words, instant trade at that specific price na nabili mo siya. Okay, so execution order, just contact your recruiter na lang, or just contact your sponsor to somehow assist you on implementing or executing the trades. Okay? Market is live and volatile. Quantity of shares purchased may vary. No? Okay? Sa limit order naman, dito na yung magiging parang semi-automatic mo yung trades mo. Kasi may mga tendencies or somehow we can hear other people says na ayaw ko mag-trading kasi parang need siya tutukan, no? In actuality, at first siguro yes, when we are somehow bago pa sa merkado, at first need talaga natin tutukan. But when we somehow want to leverage our time by doing limit orders, magiging automatic na yung mga purchase natin. Say for example, this is the current market price. Tapos, na-identify mo na support ito. Maglalagay ka ng order na dito, and then when the market goes there, ma-activate siya. So, semi-automatic yung magiging setup ng trades mo. So, ngayon, this is somehow an illustration where majority of us parang di talaga nakasakay. No, it is way back 14 years ago, most likely year 2009, when BTC or Bitcoin started at this price. No, kung nakabili ka dito, tapos natulog ka lang ng 14 years, di mo na ginalaw to kasi wala kang pake. Kung meron kang 10 nabiling Bitcoin dito kasi sobrang mura niya noong 2009, yung pera mo is $105,248 na times 10, $1 million, multiply mo yan sa current presyo ng Philippine peso, yan na sana yung pera na meron tayo kung nakabili tayo dito sa baba. No, so it is what it is, no, na hindi man tayo pinalad na naka-entra dito, but there's a lot of opportunities pa in the market. No, we have these so-called alternative coins na nandito din sa baba yung mga presyo nila. So all we need to do na lang is to learn how to trade and at the same time invest in this kind of stable coins, invest on the coins na medyo maganda yung fundamentals o may talagang magandang gamit sa community in the future. No, so yun yung mga utility tokens at saka yung mga AI na tokens, no. So yun yung doon na lang tayo parang somehow mag-stake ng fortune or mag-stake ng future natin. Okay? So lastly, we are about to end na the basic risk management or stop loss. So question muna for everybody. No, imagine you are driving a car to a place you wanted to go since then. And tapos, you are super excited and have lots of things you wanted to accomplish. But along the way, may nakita kang matandang babae, matanda, tapos kasama niya yung apo niya, passing the highway with your speed at top gear. Ang tanong dito is, ano yung una mong babanggain para ma-save mo si nanay at saka yung apo? I'll give you 10 seconds. No? So, ano yung sa tingin mo yung sagot dito? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? So, for some, yung magiging sagot nila is doon ko ang babanggain ko yung kahoy kuya para maiwasan di mamatay yung dalawa. No, yun yung magiging sagot. Tapos yung iba naman is yung matanda kasi medyo maiksi na yung buhay. Yung iba naman is yung bata kasi as per reasoning daw nila is yung matanda kawawa naman. But the correct answer for that question is ito. Break. No? So sa madaling sabi, no, in other terms, the most important thing in trading para hindi madisgrasya yung capital natin is break, no? In trading terms, it is called stop loss, no? So sa driving pa, kung yung sasakyan natin si Bybit, Ito yung gear handle para sa spot, leverage naman para sa accelerator para bumilis yung pagtubo ng pera natin. Yung car brakes naman yung stop loss. So, kung ibabalik natin doon sa dito sa market orders, kung 10% ang nakaset na stop loss, gagawin mo to, iibahin mo to na 1%. Since times 3 naman, times 3, ang mawawala lang sa iyo is 1 times 3, 3% lang ng allocated purchase mo, allocated na capital. So, yun yung importansya, no? Instead na 72, makakat yung loss mo into a very small amount of money lang. Hindi masusunog yung pera mo talaga. Okay? So, another illustration, no? So if you invested, I think we are particular, or majority of us know all about the Axie Infinity. So this is the token, SLP, Love Potion, no? So if you invested 1 million way back then sa kasagsagan ng pagsikat ng Axie Infinity, malamang kung hindi ka nag-stop loss, ang presyo ngayon ng pera mo is nasa around 10,000 na lang. No, bumaba yung presyo. This is spot lang, ha. Hindi ito leverage. Yung 1 million mo, tamang 10K na lang ngayon kasi nag-down siya ng 99% sa merkado. So that's the importance of having a stop loss. No, hindi lalala yung losses mo ba. When we are wrong in the market, we are wrong. We need to accept that na pag mali, mali talaga. Pag tama, very good. Pag mali, mali talaga. Kailangan makat natin yung sunog natin, o makat natin yung talo natin. Okay? So, the day when nobody, ito yung sa Bitcoin na sinabi ko kanina. And then, this is the future. Now, cryptocurrency is freedom, banking, slavery by Arif Nassim. Lose fast, learn fast, recover fast. If you want to learn or help a person, for they give them crypto. If you want to help a person for a lifetime, teach them crypto. That's why you are learning this one. It's because it is our passion talaga. Now, together with my form community and my leaders coming from the insurance agency, insurance na company. It is with passion talaga na coming from the heart. We are really trying our best na maka-transfer ng learning, kung ano yung learning namin, ma-transfer namin sa inyo talaga. No? It is by heart and it is by somehow our happiness na pag nag-succeed ka, maligaya kami dyan. No? It's because of those kind of principles pa. No? So always remember, as Warren Buffett said way back then, no? If hindi tayo maghahanap ng paraan para magkapera habang natutulog tayo, then we will then wake up at age 60s, 70s, 80s na nagtatrabaho pa din tayo para sa pera. No, so what does it mean? No, what does it mean is something like this one. So if ano ba ginawa, no, kung nag-hold lang sana tayo ng particular number of Bitcoin noon, bilyonaryo na sana tayo ngayon. But since God did not give us that kind of opportunity kasi may mas better siya na plano para sa atin, then we have to prepare and we need to learn as much as possible in order for us to make money while we are sleeping. Okay? So, I think I am done with my fundamental trainings for everyone. No, so if you are somehow interested to learn more advanced na topics all about trading, particularly on risk management, particularly on useful indicators on trading, and etc. No, contact your recruiter or contact your sponsor with regards to it, and see you on the next training session. Bye bye.